Afternoon Express. I'm Palisa Tembe, and today we're putting our best foot forward with Fashion Express Thursday. We'll be connecting with sought-after local fashion designer Selo Midupe, who will be sharing how his breathtaking clothing line, Scalo, has truly set him a step above the rest. We meet hair entrepreneur from Detroit, Niani B, who's encouraging black women to learn how to braid their own hair. And kicking it off is singer Rithabile Khumalo, as she chats to us as she's stepping into the spotlight with her debut album. Now it's Heritage Month, so we'd like to know on social media, what's one way in which you express yourself through your culture? Ladies in the kitchen, hey!
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome.
Welcome.
So what are we going to make that's fashionable today?
Well, we like to keep it blissful, so we're making a chocolate bliss pie using our decadent chocolate bliss flavor.
It's so fashionable, Tia.
It is. And if you want the recipe details, go to afternoonexpress.co.za. But for the moment, let's catch up with Rithabile.
One of the most popular emerging singers in South Africa, Rithabile Khumalo, has just celebrated her 25th birthday, Izolo, which she celebrated with the release of her debut album, Like Mother, Like Daughter. She joins us now for an exclusive interview to discuss her 2020 success. But first, let's take a look at her music video for Umlilo, the song that she had the pleasure of working on with DJ Zinhle. Firstly, congratulations on your 25th birthday, girl. I remember when I turned 25 and I was so excited, but like Yane, sengimdala. So what does this milestone mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. Like, I'm so grateful. I mean, I've done so much with my music and everything, and it took a while. I mean, it took 9 years for me to get to where I am right now. But hey, I'm getting there, and I'm proud of myself that I never gave up.
Because, you know, a lot of people, they might say it's taken too long, no one's interested, no one cares. Or maybe say, do I still have what it takes to be able to drop that heat? And an album is no joke. So what happened within you mentally when you said, you know what, I'm going to go regardless and release?
Honestly, it all goes back to God's timing, you know. I almost gave up. I almost went back to school, you know. I wanted to study entertainment law. I was like, Yazini, I'm done with this music thing. But God whispered in my ear, and he said, DM with DJ Zinhle, you know what I mean? And I DM'd with DJ Zinhle, and she replied, and I am where I am today because of that reply and that DM. You know, so you never know what might happen in your life. You must always push. Try. Iminyango iyavaleka everywhere, but there will always be one door that's going to open for you.
Absolutely.
Trust me, I am a living testimony.
Just like that. And I think that so many people within this time have turned to social media, unexpectedly so. And it's become the saving grace. You know, a lot of people have been able to market themselves, their businesses, DM the decision makers and the gatekeepers that they need to DM just to be able to make it through this time. Do you believe that that's been the pivotal, I suppose, turning point within you taking the next step in your career?
Yes, it has. Like, I mean, I'm going to make an example with Justin Bieber, guys. Look at Justin Bieber. He did that little video, and look at where he is now. It all goes back to believing in yourself and trusting your craft.
The title of your album is Like Mother, Like Daughter, and we here on Afternoon Express are massive fans of your beautiful mother, Winnie Khumalo. How has your mother's influence inspired your life and your music?
It's been amazing. I've always watched her growing up, you know, her touring with Oprenda Fasi, you know, her rehearsing at home, to how she took everything that she was doing seriously and to where she is now. Like, I look up to my mom, Kalanji. We all Kalanji that I look up to. And then the rest, they come after, you know, your Tony Braxton, your Anita Bakers, you know. You know me.
And I think that we all have the same story. You know, sometimes when I look at people on a Sunday and they're having that self-care Sunday and they're listening to all those old school jams, I'm like, it's almost as if we all grew up under the same roof in South Africa. We all have the same parents because we all have the same musical influences. But I want to find out from you then, Rithabile, how then would you describe your sound? I mean, is it different to that of your mother's? And how have all of those musical influences come together to make the musical being that you are today?
Firstly, I'd like to say I studied music at the National School of Arts. So there's like two sides to this music thing. It's either you are born with it or we are funda. You understand? So with me, it's the both of them combined together. Like music is at home. My brother sings, my mom sings, my dad sings. Like, hey, it is what it is, you know. So for me, my craft is just in education, and at the same time it's pure. I got it from God. So I mean, I studied jazz, I studied classical music. You know, I mean, and that's you bring me joy when I'm down. You know, so
Rithabile, you know, you've touched on something here that I didn't even think of when it comes to you and your musical journey. And the fact that you didn't take for granted the fact that you come from this musical background, you decided to upskill yourself and invest in educating yourself. How impactful and how powerful was that for you?
It was very impactful. I mean, if I didn't go to the National School of Arts, I doubt I'd know how to play guitar, or I'd know how to play keyboard or double bass, or even know how to read music, you know, or even know how to check out my contracts, because people give us contracts and then they bind us with these big words that we don't understand, and we end up signing into as you know what I mean? So for me now, going to a music school, it has helped me a lot.
Wow.
I doubt I would be where I am right now if it wasn't for the National School of Arts.
Now, what has some of those most memorable moments in your career been so far?
There was a time when I met Brenda Fassie, when I met Lebo Matsosa, I'm so grateful. Even though Bengsase Ingani, working with the DJ Zinhle, learning so much from her, as she's very business-minded, and when she wants something, she makes sure she goes and gets it. And especially my mom, you know, I'm who I am right now because of that woman. Yeah. So shout out to Uma Khumalo,
I see impela, not only for your life, not only for your mother's lives, but for the lives of these incredible women that have shaped the musical person that you are today. We celebrate you. Congratulations, Siswam, on your debut album.
Thank you so
Although
much.
It took 9 years, we're not complaining. We're still saying hats off to you and happy birthday. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Years in the shadow of her great mother, Winnie Khumalo's career, Rithabile seems to be paving a path of her own. We look forward to her future collaborations, singles and albums, especially with the great success rate her music has been receiving so far.
Hi, Tooms. Isn't it just true that the apple does not fall far from the tree?
Imagine.
With her and her mom, hey?
I know, and her name is Rithabile, which means that we are happy. So she's brought joy to her mom, and she's basically just made sure that she follows in those footsteps.
And she's bringing joy to us
She
with
is.
a beautiful music.
She is.
Vanessa, what do you think?
I think I'm just so obsessed with this duo. Yes. That's what I think. You know, there's certain power when you bring women together that is unstoppable. How much more women under the same name with the same blood as a family? It's truly immaculate what I'm seeing. But more than ever, what I'm loving to see is the fact that regardless of how long you've been in a certain industry, regardless of how long you've been set on a specific path, one can always derail. And now look, she is finally celebrating her debut album 9 years later, but we're not complaining.
She's still young, only 25.
Yeah.
She's still got some years to go.
Absolutely. Well, ladies, we still have more beauty and self-expression coming up this Fashion Express Thursday. Now, learning to be brave in your own skin can be a lifelong process. And we've been sharing profound insights through Ingram's hashtag Your Skin, Your Brave campaign. Coming up, we introduce the fearless winner of that 10,000 Rand competition prize. what does being brave mean to you? With COVID-19 and adjusting to the new normal, we have all had to unlock new levels of bravery in our lives. Over the past 6 weeks, we've been discussing the concept of bravery in our Ingram Skin Sessions, where we've asked you at home to join the conversation by sharing your brave skin story to stand a chance to win 10,000 Rand cash prize and the opportunity to share your story and feature it on our show. Now, the competition has officially closed, all the entries are in, and we've selected our winner. So to give you a little bit of a backstory, Nurse Samantha Reddy joins us this afternoon to share her winning story that recognizes the toll that lockdown has had on many of our frontline workers' skin, affecting their self-confidence. Samantha, congratulations and welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you. How are you?
Girl, I am so good, but what I'm dying to hear is from you and hearing how you have turned your story into a story of pure bravery. Now, in your entry, you shared that as a nurse working 12-hour shifts in full PPE, having to take up to 3 showers a day just to protect your family from getting COVID-19, you started to feel uncomfortable in your own skin. Now, can you please share your story with us and how you were able to overcome it?
During this pandemic that started, COVID-19, our shifts had changed and we were asked to move units. And then I was one of the nurses allocated as a dedicated nurse to be working in a patient investigation unit for COVID-19. So part of it is also that I'm also a mental health nurse. So that was 2 in 1 basically. And so we were given an orientation told that we should use full PPE to don on and don off, and we were shown the methods of doing these things. And I noticed a week into working into this unit that my body was not accustomed to be using this PPE because I have sensitive skin basically. And I started reacting to using the soap, antibacterial soaps that we had, and even the sanitizers we were using. My skin started drying. The only reason I was even taking 3 showers a day was when in the morning, basically, working the 12-hour shifts, perspiring in the PPE, and then going home. Before we go home, we have to shower as well. So we have to have a hot shower with these antibacterial soaps, and then coming home, I used to have another shower.
Wow.
Just to protect myself. So my skin started feeling dry. It became dehydrated, it became itchy. I actually started having a peeling, my skin started peeling off as well. And then I noticed I was feeling very down about it. And with COVID-19, it just didn't work for me. And I was chatting, then I got to work one day and I was just chatting to my friend. I just asked her how are you doing with all this COVID-19, using this PPE, how are you taking care of your skin? Because she's got absolutely beautiful skin. And she introduced Ingrams to me, and that's how I knew about it.
Wow. I'm kind of loving the positivity that the story is heading towards. Now, what does being brave in your own skin mean to you? And how has Ingram's Your Skin, Your Brave campaign personally resonated with you?
Well, confidence in my own skin. I love my skin. I call it a cinnamon color skin. I love taking care of myself. And with the fact, and I always want to feel beautiful. Even if I'm wearing full PPE, even if I'm working 12 hours a day, I just want to feel good about myself so I can get through my day. Because I'm looking at people, I'm seeing to patients. And so Ingram's has actually done this for me, and I watched all your campaigns throughout a weekly, and that's how I was absolutely encouraged. And Ingram's actually brought that healing to my skin, and thanks to my friend who introduced me to it, this actually gave me this I am embracing my skin. I just love it. Yeah.
Wow, Samantha, you have to love friends that put you onto absolute magic. Now I have to also ask you, what advice do you have for someone that wants to be more confident in their own skin?
Honestly, whatever race you are, whatever color you are, you have to love yourself and you have to love the skin you're in. beauty is not just on the outside, but it also starts from within and it's inside as well. It's how you feel about yourself. And whatever color skin you are, whatever type of skin disorders you have, you can ask, you can talk to people. And like I just spoke to just my friend, and she helped me. And just be confident, just take care of yourself, just do the self-care routine. And also it's all about what you also eat as well that actually has a good reaction to your skin.
Looks like you have to look at all things here in the front lines when you are working with your skin. Now, all of us have different experiences growing up that shape the women that we become. Do you have a role model in your life that has inspired you to become who you are, and why?
Yes, definitely. It's my mom. My mom has inspired me. I didn't have there is no nurse in the family. So she sacrificed her career to actually take care of us. And the good thing part of growing up is that, you go to these stages where you get acne or all those things or pimples. And she actually took care of that part. Because I remember one day, I had pimples starting up when I was a teenager. And then she was like, no, we have to go and check it up and go to the doctor and see what, this is all about. And she actually bought the stuff to actually take care of our skin. And she's part of it. That's why we are the way we are. And she encouraged me to be a nurse. And I know one day she actually said to me when I graduated, she says to me that I'm living her dream because she had sacrificed a career to take care of us.
Well, from your mom to your favorite Ingram's product, what is your must-have in your skincare routine, especially for work?
Okay, it's actually the triple glycerine, Ingram's product. I'm a fanatic about creams, and now I read the product. So that's how I know about it, and it keeps my skin moist, despite the fact that we're using these sanitizers at work and things like that.
So Samantha, I've left the best question till last. How does it feel that you have finally won that 10,000 Rand cash prize and the opportunity to share your story with South Africa? And girlfriend, what will you be spending your prize money on?
Okay, I will be spoiling myself, obviously, because I am going on leave soon. So this is like a real gift for me. And I will also spoil my mom as well, because she deserves it as well,
Look at you getting a blessing and being a blessing to someone else. Well, thank you for sharing your skin bravery story with the rest of South Africa. We truly appreciate it, Samantha. Goodbye.
Bye.
Once again, thank you, Samantha, for sharing your bravery and your story with the rest of us today, and for your daily contributions on the front line. The difference between life going through the motions and a life that is authentic and true is knowing who you are, deciding what you want, and taking action whilst confronting any fears that you might have head on.
You only have one skin. Nourish it and wear it bravely.
Well, before we say anything, I just want to say congratulations to Samantha.
Yes! 10,000 Rand!
Well
that is
done.
amazing.
And may I please have maybe just 1,000, not a lot, just a little bit, since I'm also brave in my skin.
I know, but she's so well-deserving.
Well-deserving.
Isn't it just?
It is. Palisa, she just reminds me of you and how much you love your skin. Every time I see a woman who's just appreciative of themselves, they actually remind me of you.
Oh, well, I received that. It was definitely a lifelong journey, as I did say. I think all of us, especially as women, we're very hard on ourselves. But it's nice to see the fact that, through it all, PPE, nursing and all, she's still been able to come on top and rise above it all.
Very true.
Now, ladies, on social media, we're asking everyone, it is Heritage Month. So how is the one way they're expressing themselves through their heritage? Dumi?
For me, it has to be my hair. I change my hair almost every day.
Yes.
And, how else?
Ladies, and today, do you know what? Anele, do you know people called Boom Shaka? It's about time you listen to Boom Shaka. Dumi's hair right now is channeling Boom Shaka vibes. Talk about Lebu Matosa. Talk about Tembi. I'm loving it, girl. You're looking fantastic. Anele, I'm going to find out your answer later. Ne?
Perfect.
Now, with a clientele that includes the likes of Blue Mbambo, Cindy Dlatu, and of course, Unandi Madida, Selo Madupe is one of the hottest names in the fashion game. So coming up, he's going to share with us about his clothing line, Carlo, and how it's rocketed to the top.
Express yourself.
getting towards the end of Women's Month, but we are still celebrating all things our queens and, of course, the men that make us look so darn good. Sikhalo is a South African fashion brand that represents quality and style since 2009. Founded in Johannesburg, of course, is Soweto-born Sello, and he joins us today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm loving your designs, seeing your fashion behind you. I just want to touch it, feel it, but more than ever, I want to wear some of those garments. So let's start from the beginning of your journey. From sketching in primary school to being the go-to fashion designer for all of Mzansi's top A-listers. Now tell us about your journey, how it all unfolded.
Okay, it all started, yes, in primary. I actually saw this amazing sketch in a magazine. It was Elle magazine. From then, I knew this was for me. And then I started sketching a lot. And I would actually go to a lot of book shops just to look at the magazines like Vogue, because I couldn't afford to buy it at that time because I was still young. And then I went to high school and I actually interned with a well-known designer, Palisa Mokung. And then from there, I went straight into my fashion school where I got my bursary to study for the whole year. And I was the best student in my first year, actually. But I also applied at the London International School of Fashion, where they gave me a half bursary. And so my mother couldn't afford to pay for that. So I'm just glad that I got to study and get all this experience. From there, I was selected to come showcase at Joburg Fashion Week. That was great because from there, that's when the journey really started. I got to meet up with a lot of magazine editors, which were very interested in my garments. And I met a lot of stylists as well. That's where the whole A-list celebrities came in, dressing them, being interested in my work.
It's so interesting for me to see that from such a young age, you already knew what you were destined for and what you were passionate about. And of course, we're seeing again here how your network is can show your net worth, essentially, that you are as valuable as the people you surround yourselves by. And now we're proud to say that your designs are glamorous, they're playful, but also eloquent. Now, I can also see lots of hard work, sweat, and tears have gone into each and every design. So why did you choose to go into the ball gowns as opposed to creating everyday fashion?
Okay, for me personally, as a designer or as a creative, I am more inspirational designer. I get inspired a lot. My clothes are more investment craft. I like investing and spending more time creating texture, creating textile as well. So that's where I went into that. And I like sculpturing things as well in terms of patterns. So it has to fit the body properly because throughout the years, I had to learn to study the female body or the body on its own so that every garment of mine fits properly and it's just an investment craft that you like to own in your closet.
It's so powerful, the fact that you're calling your own work and investments, because that is certainly what it is. I've seen you dressing the likes of Abonom Zamo, DJ Zinhle, and I see the way that you've definitely taken into consideration the form, the shape, and of course, glorifying the female figure. You know, Sello, talking about the powerful woman, we can't not talk about how you've designed clothing for the ever first African Barbie. Now, please dish on the details on that. But more importantly, what does this mean for you as we're celebrating Women's Month on the show? And of course, we're about to end off Women's Month as a man seeing the gender-based violence, but not only that, wanting to glorify our females. What message do you have for the Mzansi's women?
Okay, first of all, the Barbie was a big, huge achievement for me because, you know, Barbie is international. It's big. So when Lira called me and she said to me, listen, I've been called, this is what they want us to do. So for me, designing the first ever African Barbie outfit is quite big. In terms of Women's Month, it actually should be Women's Year or Women's everything, because me personally, being raised by a single mother, she had to become a mother and a father which is a strong person on its own. Women are very strong people. They're very dedicated. They're very, they work very hard to get what they want, and they're very strong as well. So for this Women Month, I would really like to say to the women of the world, actually, stay strong, be positive, keep your head up high, and always remember that you are loved and appreciated.
Wow. Said so beautifully is fashion designer Sello, of course, the founder of Carlo fashion label in South Africa, showing us that if we support La Mzansi, support local businesses and creatives like himself, we will all benefit, of course, celebrating the female form as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Sello.
Thank you for having me.
South Africa, please do head over to our social media platforms. Use that hashtag Afternoon Express and let us know, are you feeling our Fashion Express Thursday?
What a talented man.
What a talent.
His designs are so bold and so beautiful. It inspires me. I want to wear stuff.
I do too, actually, especially now that we're celebrating Heritage Day.
Yes.
I can't think of another time to get someone to actually design something that celebrates my Sotho heritage, but make it like an extreme ball gown or something like that.
Yes, the stuff with all the intricate African details is just amazing. Pala, you would also look beautiful in one of these outfits.
He is truly just such a superstar. You know, when you track someone on social media, you think you kind of got a sense as to who they are, and then you get to touch base and talk to them on the show, and you realize the superstar you thought they were, he's just on that very next level. I love
Very
it.
true. And even his character, his personality is just as bold as his garments, actually.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and especially, clothing design is such an industry with so many people in it. To stand out like that, it is extraordinary.
Magnifique. Now, talking about standing out, hair is something we all use to stand out. Now, listen, it's a point of pride and politics for Black women, and that is why we call it our crown. So coming up, Detroit-based entrepreneur Niani B shares how she's created a safe space for Black women to learn how to braid their hair.
Express yourself.
we're joined by Niani B, all the way from Detroit, USA. Niani is a natural hairstylist and the creator of a safe space for Black girls that never learned how to braid. It's a platform whereby she provides lessons and virtual classes teaching Black girls how to braid their hair. Welcome to Afternoon Express, Niani.
Thank you for having me.
For a lot of African women, we believe that our hair is our crown and that it holds a lot of strength of our identity. Now, when did your romance begin with your hair? And I believe that you self-taught to braid your own hair at the age of 12 and you were a pro by 16.
My love for my hair really came from having to learn how to do it myself. I grew up with locks, so I had locks until around the age of 12, and then I cut them off. And that's when I got braids for the first time. And I couldn't go to the salon every week. It just wasn't something that my family could do. So I had to figure out how to style my hair. And of course, the easiest way for me to do that was wearing it naturally. So I began reading books, magazines, things of that sort, just so I could learn how to style and manage my hair.
Tell us about the initiative you created, a safe space for Black girls that never learned how to braid, and why that you feel that you needed to create the safe space.
Well, even though I know how to braid, so I'm not that girl, I saw on social media a lot. I have friends, myself, and family members that just didn't know how to braid, and they would talk about how they were ashamed or, get upset when people would be like, how do you not know how to braid? Right. And so I knew that it needed to be a safe space. It needed to be a private space, which is why we started with the private Facebook group, because I wanted everyone to feel comfortable and know that everyone within this space was here to support them and was here to learn with them.
Now, something that I know myself, I kind of put as a goal that I never accomplished during lockdown. I thought to myself, I'm going to walk away knowing how to manage my afro, knowing how to give myself cornrows or braids, but still, Niani, I've come up with zero. So for yourself, why did you think it was so important for you to highlight this and destigmatize the shame around Black women that don't know how to braid?
Well, I don't feel like you lose your Black card for not knowing how to braid. Like, it's something that is a skill that some of us have and some of us don't have. And I feel like that's kind of the balance, but I don't feel like anybody should be ashamed. And I feel like everybody should have the opportunity to learn. And so that's why I wanted to teach. And initially, I really thought I was just teaching people how to braid. I didn't really realize until we were deep in the class that it was more than that, and that women were celebrating because they finally had the skill that they longed for.
And we've been touching base on the show with many professionals and creatives in South Africa to find out how COVID not only hit them, but how they've been able to adapt. Now, for you, working in a salon and having to become very creative, how have you made it work?
Well, salons shut down back in March. And so I started the class because I had to, one, figure out how to create some sorts of income, but then also to continue doing hair, because hair is something that I do every day. So I had to figure out how I was going to continue doing hair and keeping my life somewhat normal through COVID, while also practicing social distancing. And so now salons are back open. I'm back in the salon a couple of days a week, but I did not leave my students hanging. I'm still teaching. So it's really cool how COVID kind of forced me to get creative and figure out how to do hair virtually. And now that's something that I can continue throughout the rest of my career.
Niani, I actually want to touch base with some of those highlights and those students that you were touching on just now. What are some of the standout moments for you when it comes to one of your students, mastering the skill of braiding?
It's always touching for me because we have our private Facebook group when women post pictures celebrating their very first cornrow. And so we have our class is about 4 weeks long before we start over. So the curriculum is 4 weeks long. So by the end of the 4 weeks, you should have a clear understanding of how to create a cornrow. So usually sometime within those 4 weeks, the women post pictures in our Facebook group celebrating their very first cornrow. We actually had a mom and daughter post pictures practicing together. So the moms are in the group and they didn't learn as little girls, but now they have their little girls taking the class with them so that they're not that girl that does not know how to braid. And that's just really touching for me, just seeing everyone celebrate that they can finally braid and feeling like they've accomplished something really, huge for them.
What message do you have for young women and men out there when it comes to embracing their beauty and hair?
I would just say be comfortable with who you are and make sure that however you feel to embrace your natural beauty, your natural hair, that is something that you want to do. Wear your hair how you want to wear it and not think about what the world has to say and who says natural hair is presentable or whatever it may be. Just be comfortable with it and own it.
Ooh, owning it is what we're all about here on Afternoon Express. Thank you so much, Niani B, for coming through and sharing not only the platform, the safe space that you've created for women, but celebrating the identity and the crown that is on your head. Goodbye.
Thank you.
South Africa, please do head over to our social media platforms. Use that hashtag Afternoon Express and let me know your skills when it comes to braiding or cornrowing your hair. Use that hashtag Afternoon Express.
I know Niani is from Detroit, but there's a Xhosa name called Nyani, which means truth. And she's basically asking women to stay true to themselves and learn how to braid their hair. I haven't gotten there yet, but I definitely will.
You braided your hair during lockdown, girlfriend. And let me tell you, Queen, you looked fabulous.
Thank you.
And you're looking even more fabulous
Thank
now.
you very much.
Yeah.
Vanessa, I know you are also one woman who loves her crown.
But you know the thing about me, ladies, about loving my crown, I get bored. Some people call me Rihanna, Riri. You know the way Rihanna just changes her hairstyle?
Yeah.
That's me. But essentially, ladies, I grew up in a family filled with boys, so I never learned the skill of braiding my own hair. But now that I'm older, I kind of feel like I missed a class. You know, sometimes when you're just like, I should have learned how to do this somewhere, and I didn't. So, you know, having someone like her that kind of breaks down the barriers of having to learn the skill for black women, I think is iconic. But something else that's iconic, ladies, and how I love to express my heritage is through the food I whip up in the kitchen. So I don't know if that's what you guys got going on today. What do you have?
Yes, we are whipping up an amazing, divine, delicious chocolate bliss pie.
Okay.
Girl, you need to stay. You need to watch. And
I'm
see
loving
what we're
all
gonna
of that. If you want to get in on the action, please do head over to our Afternoon Express website. Otherwise, all of that coming up.
Express yourself.
Rewarded for your shopping choices with Buy Smart. Send hi on WhatsApp to 072-897-6278 and follow the steps. You will stand a chance of winning incredible prizes. How often does someone say to you that just by following a few short steps, you can stand a chance to win great and incredible prizes, such as a queen-size bed, a fridge, a washing machine, or a smartphone? It's your chance to get rewarded with points and so much more when you buy Tiger Brands products, and stand a chance to win incredible weekly prizes when you sign up to Buy Smart. Buy Smart is a loyalty and rewards platform that those purchasing Tiger Brands products can engage with, whether you're at home, in store, or on the move. It's seamless, it's simple, and it all happens on WhatsApp. You can earn points for qualifying purchases on products like Jungle Oats, Koo, Albany, and more. All you have to do is send hi on WhatsApp to 072 897 6278 and follow the steps. Browse Buy Smart promos and products. Upload your till slip when you've purchased qualifying products. Receive points for your purchases, and then use your points to unlock rewards like airtime, data, and shopping vouchers. It's quick and easy, and you can sign up on the go. You can also enter by scanning your competition QR code on your TV screens. Plus, this month, you will stand a chance to win weekly prizes when you sign up. A queen-size bed, a fridge, a washing machine, and a smartphone are all up for grabs. T's and C's apply, so make sure you sign up today to stand a chance of going into the draw for the first weekly prize next Thursday. It could be your lucky day.
With the creamy decadence of Bliss chocolate dessert from Clover, surrender to a moment of pure chocolate bliss. Bliss. Double indulgence.
Made with love by Clover.
Welcome back, South Africa.
Welcome, Zanzi.
Did you say weekend?
Yes.
Which means it's almost time to start treating yourself to something smooth, creamy, and decadent. Our Clover Bliss 5-ingredient chocolate pie is easy to make and ticks all the flavor boxes.
Tooms, me and that word pie. One of our crew members came running up now and said, "What are you making, a pie? A pie?" Yes, we're making a pie. The Americans make a pie, but it's actually a tart.
All I know is that it is delicious, it's
I know.
enjoyable, and I will have it whether it's a pie, whether it's a tart, whatever it is, just feed me, okay?
Yes, and just start making it.
Of
and
course.
if people want the recipe, they can go to afternoonexpress.co.za.
And as you said, I will start making it. So in this bowl here, we've got some cream cheese as well as icing. I just whisked it up together just to lighten up the flavor
Stop
for
it
us.
there, girlfriend. What is the 5 ingredients that you're talking about?
Okay.
You're bragging it's a 5-ingredient pie.
All right, so the first is our base, which is biscuit crumbs. So obviously you can use whatever crumbs you've got. It doesn't have to be chocolate, but we're going all the way with this chocolate.
Yes.
So we've got some biscuits that we've crushed up, and then we've got some cream. I've got some cream cheese with icing in there, and then we've got some Clover Bliss, which is the star of the show. I think also because we're making a pie, maybe you should start by making the base for us and show us exactly how that's done.
Yes, because we've got crumbs here. It's very fine. I like mine sometimes a bit, you weet, a bietjie grover.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm just going to melt a bit of butter and add it in there. You know, this reminds me about our South African dish or tart, the peppermint crisp tart, because it's also like creamy and fluffy with a bit of mint and a bit of chocolate.
I absolutely love peppermint pie because it's something that I grew up eating
Yeah.
and I've enjoyed making. And I'd like to think I'm somewhat of a pie maker now. So if you taste my peppermint crisp pie, you'd probably not want to have anything else. But we're not making that
Okay,
today.
Mrs.
We're
Pie,
making-
get going on that side.
So I'm going to start. The first step here is we've already creamed together our cream cheese, like I mentioned earlier, and some icing sugar. So I'm just going to go in with some of our Clover Bliss here.
It's so velvety.
It is, and my problem though is that because I love chocolate, I could literally eat chocolate in any form.
Yeah.
And this you can actually enjoy as is.
Yeah.
Or you can put it on top of cake. You can put it as a sauce, as a filling. It's literally up to you. That's how versatile this
I pour it
ingredient
over
actually is.
everything, over ice cream, over pancakes, over cakes, everything.
Did you know that it's also a source of vitamin A, B2, and D?
Gosh. And you know, it's actually an array of sunshine because it's full of vitamin D.
It actually is guilt-free, so that's why I love it. So I'm just creaming together our Clover Bliss here and just making sure that this creamy dessert gets all the loving it needs from here. So I'm doing all the manual work here because once the cream comes in, I don't want to be beating it too much because we don't want the air bubbles to go away from there. So once I'm done over here, I'm just going to add in our cream that I made sure to
already
whisk.
looks delicious.
It does.
Right?
It does.
And I can smell my chocolate here because it's mixed now with with the butter, and the butter is hot, so it brings out the chocolatey flavor. It's really delicious.
All right, so now that I've worked in all the cream cheese and I make sure that there's no pieces still showing there, I'm going to just put in a little bit of our whipped cream. So this is a nice step to always pay attention to, guys. Whenever you've got an ingredient that requires whipped cream, it is best to add it in parts, in additions, not all together, because you might knock out all the air bubbles. So I start with the first one, which basically is just to lighten it up so that when I add the rest of it, I can just easily fold it in. So this one, yes, some of the air bubbles will be knocked out, but it's basically part of the sacrifice. It's just collateral damage.
You know, Tooms, I always make the mistake when I whip cream that I whip too much, and then I make butter too much.
Right?
I know, if you don't look at it carefully, remember, guys, when you whip cream, just watch it very carefully before you know.
Yeah, it's literally the difference between either you over whip or you under whip.
Yes.
And if you under whip, it means it's going to be too runny.
Yes.
If you over whip, you're basically going to have a rock on your plate, and we don't want to serve anyone.
Can we
rocks.
make butter one of these days on the show? I would love to make butter, show people how to make it, and perhaps add some fresh herbs like a butter extravaganza.
Please do. It's Heritage Month, so we're all about doing anything and everything that celebrates our heritage as South Africans. So maybe you can do a South African twist on butter, like
butter.
A South African butter, maybe with biltong or anything.
We love butter.
Okay, cool. So I've just folded in the last of the cream. And this is how beautiful this mixture is. Nice and creamy and light and flavorful with the chocolate bliss in there. It's just amazing. And you're getting the tart pan for us, or the tart shell ready for us.
I'm just pressing it down a little bit. You have to press it down, otherwise it just falls apart. But Tooms, I think this looks luscious and delicious.
Perfect.
I'm going to give this to you.
And the other thing about this is, luckily, because this is not a baked dessert, you can actually serve it as is. So once we've done this, all we need to do is just chill it in the fridge for a little bit. The only reason for that is to make sure that the cream still holds its shape, because we don't want it to be too
Can you leave a bit for me in that bowl, please? Because you know, I love these things before, like afterwards. Thank you.
You can just lick the bowl, my darling.
Thank you so much.
All right, and just to make it a little pretty, I'm just going to add some raspberries over here.
Chocolate and raspberries go so well together.
So wow. And you did mention something about the mint, so I'm also putting some mint into this to make this look all kinds of pretty. But let me add some dollops of the chocolate bliss.
Oh gosh, you're going
all the way around.
Doing things that to my heart. My arme hart gaan dit nie hou nie, Tooms.
Because why not? Eh? Why not? So basically, this is our dessert. You're going to hand me over that amazing chocolate.
Yeah.
And this is our chocolate bliss dessert that is basically all things great and tasty and delicious and divine. And that is it, South Africa. So to get this deliciously decadent recipe, head on over to afternoonexpress.co.za. But if you missed it, here are the steps with a quick recap.
Made with love by Clover.
With the creamy decadence of bliss chocolate dessert from Clover. Surrender to a moment of pure chocolate bliss. Bliss. Double indulgence.
Made with love by Clover.
I mean, ladies, I don't know about Marie Antoinette, but I am ready for some cake. I'm ready for some dessert. This looks delicious and decadent. What a way to celebrate Thursday.
We're waiting for you to say the magic words, girl. You know, Mus.
Let's eat.
Thank you.
Okay, so whilst we're eating, I mean, Anela, I have to find out from you, girl. How do you celebrate your heritage?
Exactly the same as you. It's actually through food. So I love cooking like this. This reminds me of peppermint crisp tart, like peppermint crisp tart, milk tart I grew up with. Tribes and trotters, curry, tribe and trotters,
I love that. Okay, and you know something very interesting as well about the food and heritage conversation is that South Africa is such a beautiful melting pot. We almost eat everything and anything. everything. And that is just brilliant to me. So, ladies, whilst we're enjoying in the kitchen, I love the fact that you also said peppermint tart. That is such a South African favorite. It's no joke. As well as milk tarts. Loving it all.
I know exactly what you mean. If there is any way that the world would know, if someone actually once asked us what is our point, what is our unique selling point as South Africa, and I think it's our food. Our food is amazing.
Yes.
We've got a variety of foods. We've got the pickled fishes. We've got the milk tarts, like you just mentioned. We've got a whole array of dishes that the world is just waiting to get.
And your Durban curry.
Yes. When are you guys going to cook me a Durban curry? In fact, don't give away the surprise. We're going to need our viewers to keep tuning in to find out what we'll be whipping up shortly. Ladies, from language to clothing to food, we're hoping that everyone celebrates their heritage this Heritage Month. But do join us again tomorrow, Mzansi, for an exciting Friday edition. We have our very first live performance studio since the national lockdown began, and it's none other than the sensational Patty Monroe. Until then, Mzansi, good night, stay safe, and happy eating. Bye. Clover has been a part of our South African heritage for over 120 years and wishes you all a happy Heritage Month. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.